Thank you very much. In a room full of people, you typically find three types. The ones who make things happen, those who observe things happen, and those who wake up one day and wonder, what happened? And I think a lot of you belong to the first type. Now, what distinguishes those who make things happen? Resources, capabilities, luck? I would say, above all, it's their mindset. Does mindset matter? Mindset is our cognitive map, our mental GPS. To illustrate that power, let me give you a few examples. In 1927, Harry Warner, the founder of Warner Brothers, famously said, "Who the hell wants to hear actors talk?" Those were the days of the silent films. In 1943, the founder of IBM famously said, "I think that there is a world market for perhaps 5 computers." 1977, Olsen, the founder of Digital Equipment, back then the second largest PC company, said, "I don't see any need for individuals to have computers at home." In 2000, the president of Chrysler Corporation went to India. At the end of the trip, he said, "Call me when you have built some roads." And he didn't see many opportunities then. That was 2000. In 2020, India could be building more cars than the US. If you think we're getting smarter, in 2007, Palm's former CEO commented on Apple launching the new iPhone. He said, "What does a computer company know about phones?" He looked at the smartphones from the lens of the phones rather than from the lens of smart computers. Now, in 10 years, you will be in the prime of your career. What will the next 10 years look like? Simply put, the next 10 years, we will see a bigger transformation in the structure of the global economy than any decade over the last 200 years. Driving this transformation is the rise of the emerging markets. Over the last decade, emerging markets have been developing, growing 3 times faster than the developed ones. When the emerging markets were small, they could grow fast, but didn't make much a big impact. Now they are gathering bulk. When they gather bulk and continue to grow fast, the impact on the global economic structure is much bigger. Today, emerging economies is about 1/3 of the global economy. By 2025, they could be accounting for nearly half of the global sky. And over the coming decade, over 3/4 of the growth will be coming from the emerging market. If you take a 100-year time frame, we are now sitting smack in the middle of a historical standing point. Back in 1950, US GDP was 20 times that of China. Today, it is 2.5 times that of China and 8.5 times that of India. If you just make 3 conservative assumptions, one, that US continues at, or picks itself up and grows at 2.5%. If you assume that China slows down to 6 to 7%, and if you assume that Chinese renminbi yuan appreciates at 3 to 4% a year, if you do that math, it's clear that by 2025, China will catch up with that of the US. By 2050, China's economy could be twice the size of the US. And India is following the similar trend, trailing China by about 12 to 14 years, and that's the time lag between when China started its economic reform in 1978 and when India jumped on a similar train in 1991. Today, India is the 9th largest economy. By 2020, it could become the 4th largest economy, surpassing Germany, and by 2025, surpassing Japan to become the 3rd largest economy. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, by 2050, the combined GDP of China and India could be equal to the combined GDP of US, Europe, and Japan. Now, like it or not, the US-dominated single polar world is gone. Gone with wind blowing from the east, from the south. Okay? Now, thank you. What is... Not a lot of Americans here. I don't get that applause when I speak to an American audience. But what is interesting is that the world is not going to be replaced by a single polar world dominated by China. That's not the case. The world is going to become a multipolar world. Now, you may ask, is this multipolar world going to be a fragmented multipolar world? And my answer is no. If you look at the trend, the long-term trend of trade flow or capital flow, if you look at the rapid diffusion of technology and ideas, the people flow, and the rapid spread of access to internet, the long-term trend of global integration is irreversible despite the political tension, economic tension, and the current Eurozone crisis. Now, if the world is becoming multipolar and at the same time integrated, what does that mean for corporations? Very soon, you will be working for one of them, or you will be helping to shape up the future of that corporations, or you will be starting one of your own. What will be the building blocks for tomorrow's winning organizations? Now, industry dynamics differ, strategies may differ, and I would say that at the core of the building block is to cultivate a global mindset. Cultivate a global mindset. But what is a global mindset? I would say that to have a global mindset, you must have 2 dimensions. One is an openness to and knowledge of diverse cultures and markets, and second is the ability to integrate across this diversity. A lot of companies, when looking through their ethnocentric lenses, they get themselves into trouble. For example, when eBay went to China to set up the B2B business, they went there quite early, but when they set it up, the site, they made the site look simple, the way the Americans liked, but the Chinese found it too empty. They did not allow buyers and sellers to contact each other to negotiate. The Chinese cannot close any deals without bargaining. Bargaining is like our national hobby. Gain lots of satisfaction, purely for the sake of bargaining, for the sake of bargaining. But how do you cultivate a global mindset? It's not that easy because emerging markets grow 3 to 4 times faster than the developed ones. In 4 years, change in China could be equivalent to change in a developed market in a generation. Plus, these markets are vast and diverse. Okay. You look at China. China is like a continent. Here on the left is a map of China, provinces labeled as countries with equivalent population size. And on the right are provinces labeled as countries